Hello, my name is Alex Snyder, and I'm going to be speaking about the effects reading has on the brain. So, I have been reading ever since I was little. I've always loved reading. I would read anything I could get my hands on. It could be a comic book or, a magazine that I found in the doctor's office. And so, according to Time magazine, we are affected by reading every day, and the average person reads about 19 minutes a day. That can be anything from a text message or an email that we see at work or the back of a cereal box or a regular book or even one of these Garden Gate magazines. So anything like that we read all the time, whether we know it or not. And so all that reading, do you think that we are affected by it? The answer to that question would be yes, we are definitely affected by reading. Reading actually affects us cognitively in many ways. It affects our memory, our intelligence, our brain connectivity, our mental health, and it actually reduces stress. So, as I said, reading affects intelligence. It actually affects the three different kinds of intelligence. It affects crystallized intelligence, fluid intelligence, and emotional intelligence. Crystallized intelligence is the basic knowledge that we gain over time. It is anything from being able to drive a car or to ride a bike or even actually learning how to read. Fluid intelligence is our ability to solve problems and think critically. And emotional intelligence is our ability to read and respond to our emotions and others' emotions. And so as we read, those three types of intelligence, they're both built on and they grow as we read over time. And reading also affects our memory. So as we read, we have to think harder, we have to concentrate more on what we're reading. So as we concentrate, we're able to comprehend that information longer. And it also builds a better vocabulary. Once again, as we're concentrating, we're seeing certain words over and over again, and we're able to remember what they mean. That's according to the Johnson O'Connor Research Foundation. And also, as we read what interests us, then we are more focused and more devoted to reading, and we're able to remember more information. And reading also affects our mental health. As we read, it actually slows cognitive decline. So in the average person, it slows decline by about 32%. This is according to dailymail.com. As we read, it keeps our brain active, even just doing a crossword puzzle or reading a magazine. And as we do that, it slows the decline. It also improves the effects of dementia and Alzheimer's. So tests have been done on dementia patients that shows that an active reader with dementia, their decline is actually slowed by about 15%. And it helps the brain connectivity and allows them to stay more cognitively aware for a longer period of time. Brain connectivity, reading, improves brain connectivity and function. So it affects theory of mind and allows us to understand that one person's beliefs are different than another person's beliefs. It allows us to attribute certain mental states to ourselves and to other people. And it improves communication with the rest of our body. Reading actually affects two parts of the brain. It affects the occipital lobe and the parietal lobe. The occipital lobe is the part of the brain that deals with processing visual information. And the parietal lobe is the part of the brain that deals with reading comprehension and writing skills. So as we read, it affects the occipital lobe by stimulating that part of the brain, and we're able to process the visual information more accurately. And then it affects the parietal lobe by once again stimulating that part of the brain, and we're able to comprehend more and to write better, more complex things. And that is according to readinghorizons.com. Reading not only affects brain connectivity, but it also affects stress. It can actually reduce stress. It is known to be a very good relaxer. As we focus, we are distracted from the stress as we focus on the reading. And so as we're reading, we become more devoted to what we're reading, and it takes our mind off of what was originally stressing us in the first place. It also relaxes us physically. It relieves muscle tension, and it lowers our heart rate. So as we're reading, we are able to forget about the stress, and it actually relaxes our body. It is also one of the fastest stress reducers. It actually lowers stress about 68%. This is according to the Telegraph. And it actually lowers stress more than listening to music, drinking tea, and drinking coffee, which is other more common types of stress reducers. So that being said, our reading affects all of these different kinds of things. So it affects us cognitively, it affects our memory, our mental health, intelligence, brain connectivity, and it lowers stress. So, that being said, I'm going to leave you with one question. How do you think you are affected by reading? Thank you.